Georgia on the logo, celebrating back-to-back Nats. Perfection wears red and black tonight, 15-0.
Georgia 4 yards from an SEC championship. First down. ETN in the I formation. They hand it to him. Touchdown! Georgia are SEC champions!
Sigue Ringo! Corta dentro! Ringo! Touchdown! Georgia! Flea Flicker to get the night started. Downfield looking for Godwin. Into his hands. And guess which dogs are barking first? Uga, get after it!
Sonny Michel will send the Dogs home to the championship game!
And Bobo throws that thing in the end zone and yes! Touchdown! Touchdown and a goal!
Georgia Bulldogs bludgeoned their way to back-to-back. Glory, glory. Georgia, as the fight song says.
This is our love for each other. 1 + 1 = what? 3. We are better together and we are connected.
This is Robert Iron E. Singleton, a.k.a. D-Dog from The Walking Dead, or Alton from The Blind Side, and you are watching Respect the Hedges on the Fan Addict Sports Network. All right, guys, go Dogs, sick 'em.
What up, what up? It's your boy, Shawty Parker, in the building. Respect the hedges. They don't let your boy get the wheel again, so I'm going to try to keep it in the middle of the road. And y'all know, it's hate week. Georgia Tech, man, it's hate week. But before we get into the hate, we got to get petty. Shelby, what's happening? All right. Petty with Shelby. Hey, Tech. Look like pick destroyed y'all, kind of like UGA did to FSU and the Hawks did to Ben Simmons. We going to finish the job and make y'all cry like your coach did last year. Happy Thanksgiving. Shout out to Shelby. Getting petty with Shelby. All right. I like that. It's a lot of hate going on, man. But y'all know what? It takes a village. I don't know what a village yet, so this might be a short show. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to give y'all all the hate that I got. Protect myself. I'm going to tell you that. And with that being said, we do got part of the village in. We got former wideout, big-time Tech player, big play CA, my OG. What's happening, baby? What's going on? We trying to get it right. Got so much hate. We got to get things together. With that being said, though, shout out to everybody in the panel right now. I mean, not in the panel, but in the comments. We got, of course, the first lady in the house, Shelby. We also got who is that? K-Dog 33. Shout out to K-Dog 33. I don't know if I've seen you in the comments before, but shout out to you. We got the Black Continuum in the house. Shout out to the Black Continuum. We got my boy, Jason, Hall of Fame college football, the hardest working man in podcasts. Go check his podcast out, the big Oklahoma fan. They got a big game coming up too. Good luck to y'all, man. Who got this? Who's that? Shelby L. Oh, that's Steve. Shout out to Steve. Ball man, what's going on, little bro? Yeah, man. We got some folks in the comments, man. It's Georgia Tech week. But one thing before I get into something too, man, I forgot to give this guy a shout out. Shout out to the stat guy in the back, doing all the producing. Shout out to Stat Guy, man. Shout out to the Stat Guy. And another shout out I want to give, man. I don't know if everybody know. I was going to holler at my boy CA about this. Shout out to Zachariah Branch. Right now, he's second all time right now in receptions in terms of single season receptions. He needs 13 to break the record. And the record is held by my podcast partner, if he get back on here, CA. Bryce Hunter. Zach Zach Branch got a chance to break Bryce Hunter, man, all-time single-season receptions. How you feel about that, man?
I'm excited for him. First of all, apologies for being late. Had some technical difficulty. We're gonna step up. It's the end of the season. We're gonna make plays when they come. But Zach Branch, same way. A guy we had a chance to feature this year. We've been wondering why we haven't had a guy go over 1,000 yards, why we haven't had a receiver to pull the defense towards him. And you got to earn that. You got to garner that. And Zachariah Branch over the course of this season has proven to be worth those targets. He's been consistent for us. So to see him approaching a record like that, I'm not totally surprised, because at this point, we need for him to continue to perform. We need for the defense to continue to focus on him, because even though they do, he's made plays for us, but it also gives us a chance to get a lot of other guys the ball, because now we have an identity to play off of. So we've got to get that defensive, they look to stop him when they face the Georgia Bulldogs. They look at number one, make sure they know where he is, and sometimes they might roll coverage towards him. That gives the other receivers a lot of options. I played in a lot of offenses where, the defense was keyed on a guy by the name of Hines Ward, and it gave me chances to shine in one-on-one matchups. And for those other receivers, that's all you can really ask for. Got to pull the coverage away and allow you to be competitive in a one-on-one environment, because in that form there's no excuses. And just looking at the guys around him that have had a chance to step up, Dylan Bell's been consistent, more than one position. Noah Thomas, I'll be honest, first 4 games I was worried about him. Last 4 games I couldn't be more excited. So the season has been long, and Zach Branch has just been consistent for us. So again, to hear him sneaking up on Bryce Hunter, that's just a testament to the work he's put in. But again, as always, we're going to give a shout out to 88, because he set the table for us, before we even got there. And is a great example for any receiver to go after.
Right. And just to your point, shout out to Bryce Hunter. It's amazing that season record has lasted since 1993. That's amazing. So shout out to Bryce. And I agree with everything you said. I think I like to call Zach Branch, I like to call him a multiplier. And I kind of touched on it last week. I think he's a multiplier because a lot of the things that you said earlier is that, he helps our offense. Like the way that you can use him, you can build offensive plays and strategies off of this guy, because to your point, when he goes in motion, he attracts defenses. That also let the quarterback know what the defenses is doing. You can fake tune and multiply and build something off of that. And exactly. Again, to your point, he also multiplies. What I mean, to your point, I agree with everything you said. Other players start to get open. He's that multiplier because he demands so much coverage. You know what I'm saying? And we haven't had that player in probably, I would say a year, well, maybe the year or two, maybe.
So, at the least. Because you got to earn it.
Brock and my boy at San Diego were all of those multiplier kind of
lad.
So those were the multipliers, and once we lost those, you could really see the decline in terms of consistent efficiency in the offense.
Got to have something you can lean on. We got to have something we think we can count on. And even when the defense might think they know it's coming. So you're right. He is a multiplier. The guys around him force the defense to step up, make plays. But glad to have him on our side.
We got our boy, Mr. Tailgate King himself, former tight end, 9'6", JV, man. What's happening with you?
Hey, what's going on, fellas, man? Sorry I'm pulling in to the show a little late, man. Having a few technical difficulties, but I think I got them worked out, man. I know y'all done held down the crown, so I wasn't concerned whatsoever. I know that the RTH family is in good hands when y'all are on the air.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So we just kind of like, we were just chopping it up a little bit before we get into this hate, because we got so much hate. Before we got into the hate, we just wanted to give a shout out to Zach Branch. I wasn't aware. I don't know if he was aware of the conversation CA and I was having about Zach. JB?
No.
Okay. Just a quick. Zach Branch has a chance. I'm calling him Zach like my brother. Zachariah Branch has a chance to become the single season all-time leading reception leader. He needs 13 more catches to break Bryce Hunter's record of 73 catches in one season. He's tied right now with Brock.
That's pretty impressive.
Yes.
Shout out to my boy Brock Bowles, Double B, man, doing it as a tight end. But that's impressive, man, for Zach Brent, especially with the fact that, a lot of people really probably didn't expect for him to come in and be a featured receiver. Expected probably for him to be more of a special teams guy and a gimmick guy, but he's proven to be a legitimate target and a legitimate threat on our offensive side of the ball, man. I'm happy to have him. I hope he breaks that record. Let's go for it, Bobo.
Mm-hmm.
Well, man, hey, man, shit, let's get into this hate, man. We all got it. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into the hate. See, I'm gonna come to you first, man. We
What's
playing
going
Georgia.
on, man?
We playing Georgia Tech. Everybody know what it is. You know what I'm saying? We playing them at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, I think, which is a detriment to them. I know they from the city, but I think we're a little bit more comfortable in the dome than they are. But just a specific question here, as opposed to a general question on the Tech game. Let me ask you this question: is there anything specifically that you think Tech has over us to win this game?
That's a great question, and I'm glad that it's harder for me to answer now than it was to start the season. But if I had to say, if there's one piece I'd like to, make sure we don't let get loose on us, is their quarterback. And going into the season, I would have stated that as a clear advantage on Georgia Tech's behalf. But with the performance of Gunnar Stockton and that offense, that Mike Bobo has called it, it looks like a matchup I'm not afraid of anymore. But at the same time, that's probably their biggest opportunity. Haynes Kings is a proven leader, a proven playmaker, guy that I don't like at all. A&M, Georgia Tech, I don't care what uniform he wears. I've been trying to make sure he don't have success against my guys. So I wanted to make sure that we don't allow him to get comfortable at any point, because he does have playmaking ability. He also can build momentum. I agree, moving it to the dome is an advantage to the Dogs because they just lost our home field advantage. But at the same time, we still got to go out there and take the game, because Georgia Tech, as much as I hate them, as much as I don't want to give any credit, they do have a talented roster. They do, have some pride in what they do over there. So it's not going to be a gimme. But at the same time, as long as we do put Haynes King in a position where he's uncomfortable for the majority of the night, then I'll feel good about the Dogs' chances.
I like that. I agree with you. I think Haynes Kings is definitely the X factor. JB, let me ask you this question here, and I'm gonna piggyback off what CA said. Haynes Kings is definitely the X factor. In the past 2 years he has been there, Tech chances of beating us seem to have increased. They've gotten a lot better. They've actually, in terms of time of possession, the last two games, they beat us in that. So let me ask you this: is that any concern of yours going into this particular game? Them being able to win the time of possession against us, is that a way they can beat us? Is there any concern with that?
So I say, definitely. I mean, they hold the ball, they shorten the game, they make it dirty. That's how they win against teams that honestly might be a little bit more and better athletically inclined with the talent that they might play against. But I'll say this, man. You know what? I like Haynes King. Honestly, I mean, it's not a whole lot that I like that I can just stand on a hill and scream that I like about Georgia Tech, besides the fact that I'm standing on the hill, probably looking down at them. But at the end of the day, they have put together 2 pretty good seasons that people didn't expect from them. And while I think that Haynes King is kind of that fuel that sparks their engine and gets their
He's a
team
Heisman
moving,
caliber player.
he's definitely that. I think that their coach is even more of a threat to our rivalry, because what he's doing is he's instilling belief in a team that realistically they have talent, but they aren't on the level of some of the teams they may play against, even in the ACC. But they are extremely well coached, and that's always what I see with them. I think that the last game was an anomaly for them. I don't expect to see that Georgia Tech show up really in another game, period, this season, be it this game or a bowl game. I don't expect that Georgia Tech team to show up, but their coach has those guys believing that they're the best thing smoking. And while I'm not scared of anything that comes out of out of Atlanta as far as a college. Because I won't even too much give them respect by calling them Tech. What I will say is that, we need to come out there and, come off the bus like we expect to beat these guys and move on to our destiny, which isn't toying around with beads.
Okay. No, I like all that too, man. I agree with all of that, man. The thing that I would say is this, and I'm gonna come to CA. I think that our team just has been a team that, in the past, I don't know if I could put that to any other year. We always kind of mention it, but I think it really represents this year's team. The team that we saw in the first 4 games for us is not the same team we've seen the last 4 games. Like, we have really we have gotten better and better every week. We have ramped things up every week. And now I think we're starting to fire on all cylinders. But Georgia Tech is a team that can run the ball because of Haynes King. We have, struggled with the run the first 4 games. We've gotten a lot better. So, CA, my question to you is, how do you feel about our defense going against their offense? Do you see us, because I think the last 2 games we've given up about 65 points. Do you think, how do you feel about their offense against our defense is what I'm getting at the end of the day? Do you see them being able to score points and get ahead of us like teams have done the first 7 games of this season?
Gotcha. I think that's a good question. I think the only reason this is even a discussion is because Coach Keys makes them a respectable opponent. And as far as what they do on offense, I feel good about my defense against it because of what we've had to experience over the last 3 weeks. The running game, I think we're doing a lot better at my linebacker position. The injury to CJ Allen has forced us to play a lot more young linebackers, especially against Charlotte, guys that didn't have as much game experience. But against a guy like Haynes King, I think we're steady. I think we're finally to a point where I feel good about our pass rush or the potential to rush a passer and get somebody off the spot. I feel good about how we fill gaps in the running game because we've gone through an entire SEC season at this point, fellas. So it's in the books. We ain't bad at it. So even though teams have gotten up on us early, I don't think that's been our identity of late. We've had high-level competition that we can speak to as far as what we've done in these last 3 to 5 weeks. At the same time, Georgia Tech is going to be its own animal. So again, it goes back to Coach Keys. He does have a respectable program as much as I want to crop shit on it. But at the same time, we got to be ready for whatever adjustments they make offensively. Buster Faulkner is a real play caller. We know who he is personally. We've got experience with him in our building on our campus, pushing our boys to be their best. So we got to understand Georgia Tech is going to come in with some ideas and some schemes. It's up to us to perform to our level. We got to play to our best ability. We got to make sure we show up and handle our responsibility. That's really all it boils down to, just like JV said. We got to go out and take it. They're not going to give it to us. They're good enough for us to respect. They deserve the hammer, and we need to give it to them because they've got options on the offensive side of the ball, but I do feel good about my linebacking unit. To answer your question specifically, because we've had to play more than one guy, because everybody's had a chance to make plays, sideline to sideline, not an issue. Key on that quarterback, and let's make sure we don't allow big plays. I feel good about it.
Awesome, man. You guys are helping me segue because these are a lot of the things that I had in my notes, and I'm going to come to JV with this right here. Great call, I agree with everything you said. So one of the things I want to say is that, when I talk about the progression of our team, but I'm going to speak here specifically about the defense. And stat guy, if you could, put at JCSM2N coming up about the zone and blitz every play. You just had it up. It was the last one you had up. Awesome. Thank you. So one of the problems I think, we had in the beginning of the season, back to the progression, specifically the defense, and CA kind of touched on it a little bit. I think we did have a problem getting pressure with 4. I really do. So in my opinion, I think we have found a way to be creative on the defense and start to get pressure, we may have to send 5, but it might be a little bit more zone blitzing that we have been mixing in there.
Okay.
But my question to you, JV, against Tech, like, what style of defense do you think we need to play against Tech? Are we going to have to play the type of defense where we put our DBs in harm's way, meaning maybe playing a lot of man-to-man? We're not scared of Hayne King's arm, and we got to load the box. Or we're going to probably do a little bit of what my guy JC saying, let's blitz every player and play zone.
Well, honestly, I'll say this. I like the progression that CA mentioned that we've been seeing out of the defense through or from the first 4 games and through the last 4 or 5 games, man. I mean, I think that what we've also seen is that we are a little bit more aggressive, and it looks like we're a little bit more comfortable with the scheme that's being run. Because even when we were running 5-man and in some cases 6-man pressure early in the year, our blitzes were extremely dirty. And when I say our blitzes were dirty, we would have people running into each other. We would have what looked like people trying to make individual plays on a play call instead of doing their job, which might be to attract 2 people.
Just take a body.
And what I've been seeing in these last 3 or 4 games, man, is that our blitzes have really cleaned themselves up. You're not seeing that as much where if you need to take a body and you need to take 2, then guys are taking a body and they're taking 2. You're seeing linebackers run clean and run free. And you're also seeing a more of an attack style of defensive line play where it looks like we're doing more shooting the gap as opposed to holding 2 gaps in some scenarios, which actually plays in our favor because now you can't pinpoint how we're going to play you. And you can't lock in on, what we know Georgia's going to do on 3rd down, which has been to our detriment. We've been a little too much defensive minded and easy to diagnose. I feel that's why those first 15 plays work as well as they had earlier in the season, in my opinion. So yeah, I do think that I'm going to say I just talked myself out of your question, Shawty. So if you could just throw it at me real quick one more time, let me get to the crux of it.
Well, good. So I was just basically saying, like, with the progression of what I think our defense has done throughout the season. Like I said, we had problems getting pressure before. What style of defense you think we may have to play against Tech? Do you think we're going to have to play more of a man-to-man pressure or more of a zone blitz pressure? Like, what you think is going to be the strength against this particular offense with Haynes King?
So I think the strength of this defense, no matter what we call it, and I'm just going to answer it like this: yes. So whatever that looks like, whatever that is, man-to-man pressure, zone pressure. Like I said, I don't think we're going to see another Georgia Tech game like they played this past game. That was one of those anomaly games that can get away from you and you can't recover. But what I do think is that the pressure, when you put it on them and they're behind the sticks, like we've always known this to be the diagnosis for beating Georgia Tech, is going to be to stay ahead of them as much as people try to stay ahead of us. I think it's going to be a little bit more advantageous for us to be able to do it because our defensive backfield, the guys behind those linebackers, are actually really playing some really good ball. But I also think it's a lot to do with the fact that and how our front 7 is playing. So yeah, I would say all of that, Shawty.
Okay.
Pressure. That's the answer, Shawty. Pressure. I think we got to be dynamic in how we do it. I think you're 100% right. The guys look more comfortable. I think we're no longer playing on our heels. JV said we're blitzing, and it's so much cleaner. Guys are putting that foot in the ground like Roquan, like N'Kobe, like Channing Tindall. They're blitzing with intent to cause and wreak havoc versus second guessing versus worrying about gap control. Even the freshman on that defensive line, when he's getting upfield, he's doing it with so much more reckless abandon that you can see that these guys have confidence in what they're doing on defense. So whether we're calling the same plays or not, they're attacking it a lot more aggressively. And that's what excites me in the front 7, which is why I say I think we're gonna see a lot of man and zone in the coverage behind that 5-man blitz, because what I've noticed out of KJ at safety, he thrives in that zone blitz because he can bring the pressure, he can sit in that gap in the hole and make a play, or he can match up when we're in man. So it's not just about KJ, but to see E-Rob, to see Ellis Robinson get an interception, to see the pass breakups, and to watch DeMelo be so strong support in the run game, I feel great about all of the options on the back end, just because those guys, like JB mentioned, they're continuing to mature and they're playing in a so much more of a confident fashion. So I like how we attack on defense. And I think, just like JB said, it's going to be all that, because regardless of how we do it, to beat Georgia Tech, we're going to have to apply pressure to Haynes King all night. And it probably is going to be in a plethora, a number of different ways.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. And I love the comment by Paul 1985. If you catch that, guy, put that up for me. I love when people come in the comment and throw some football lingo out there and knowledge out there. I agree with not only the commenter, but also both guys on the panels. And I would just piggyback off you guys, but that's kind of what my point that I was saying is that, running a lot of zone allows you to do the simulated pressures. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of stimulated pressure, but you're dropping off into zone, but you still sending enough to get pressure. So I think we all on the same page, and I agree with everything that everybody said. And at that point, man, I'm about sick of the defense. Let's get to the old, man. Let's get to the old. Let's get to the old. You know what I'm talking about? So,
baby.
Yeah, man. So, Georgia Tech is over the past few games have been notorious on defense. They can't stop a nosebleed. They have been terrible. And I think with the emergence of not only our passing game, but the running game, both things on offense have been emerging. I'm gonna come to JV first. I ain't gonna let CA take all the meat out the bone.
Appreciate
JV,
it, man.
from an offensive standpoint, from an offensive standpoint, what you think gonna be the key in dominating this Tech defense this weekend?
Man, hey, listen, I need Mike Bobo to wake up on Friday morning. And I need him to pack his lunch and then bring his Gucci bag with him. The same Gucci bag he done had over the past 3-4 games. Because what I really feel, and this is what I probably talked and chopped it up with a few of the of some damn DGDs earlier today, man. I got so much confidence in our offense. And I have this confidence in our offense because, number one, our line is healthy, and those young guys and those elder statesmen on that line are playing some hellacious ball. We are running the ball and coming downhill on people. Now you throw in the emergence of a consensus tied together offense that really you don't know what we're doing when we're pulling 2 tight ends. We could be pulling 2 tight ends and running a trap and busting a play for 30 yards on a run play. We could be pulling 2 tight ends or pulling a tight end and a tackle or a guard, and now we're throwing to a 6'5" receiver who's running, 4'5", 4'4" out there on the field. Or you can pull 2 tight ends.
Making people miss.
And making people, hey, listen, I have so much confidence right now because it's hard on the defense. Our defense, it's hard. Our offense is giving the opposing defense nightmares when it comes to what they're going to do to stop us. If you blitz us, Gunner is progressing in his passing game acumen, and he is finding open guys, and he throws one of the best looking balls in the SEC. Our line is blocking, our tight ends are catching, our receivers are catching, our running backs are running. So I don't know what really Bobo could do. I want Bobo to continue doing exactly what he's doing. I want him to bring his whole bag on Friday. That's what I think that we need to do. And if we do any of what we've been doing the past 3 games, this will not be the contest that we are speaking to right now. We should pull that double-digit win off against these guys because, like you said, they haven't been stopping the nosebleed.
And shout out to Stat Guy. He said, give Bo Walker some credit. He came on the show. He's been on our show before.
Shout out
He
to Bo.
scored 3 touchdowns. Yeah, scored 3 touchdowns. So yeah, shout out to Bo. So CA, my question would be to you because you kind of touched on it earlier, and I would agree with you if you told me before the season, well, not even before the season, even the first 2, 3, 4 games during the season, I would have given Georgia Tech the nod at the quarterback position if you're talking about strength and weaknesses, right?
Yeah,
Just in my opinion, I'm not putting words in your mouth, but I would have felt like Georgia Tech had that strength, and it may still be that. So my specific question to you going into this game, which quarterback has to have the bigger game in order to win the game? And just give me an idea of which stats they need to have to win.
I'd say Haynes King. Haynes King is under more pressure than Gunnar Stockton. I think he needs to throw and rush for a combined 300 to 325 in order to beat Georgia. I think a lot of it would have to rest on his shoulders in the form of primarily play action pass, beating us over the top in some scenarios we aren't ready for, and third down converting with his legs. He'd have to be moving the chains a lot and be explosive. They've got players, but he's a signal caller, and he'd have to drive that ship. Gunnar Stockton, Mike Bobo can kind of do what he want to do. This is icing on the cake. We can run for 300 and beat them. Gunnar throw for $125. We rush for 350 and get up out of there with a win. Bring that thing back to Athens and party all night. So we don't have to do it that way. I think that's the beauty of this Georgia offense. We've shown that we can win in more than one way. We can win a long, drawn-out 3 to 7 point dogfight and show up big in the fourth quarter, punch our ticket, kill you late. Or we can walk the dog all night long and have you trying to figure out what you're going to do for the rest of your Saturday, in this case, for the rest of your Friday after we beat up on you because we did it from start to finish. I think the versatility in the offense is what gives us comfort. I think Gunnar Stockton is going to have a lot more options that he can get the ball to. We do a lot of the short screens people complain about. We get the ball in playmakers' hands. Georgia Tech is forced to really highlight Haynes King if they want to try to beat Georgia on this Friday coming up. And I think that's clear. So, yeah, I'm excited about the offense too. I'm extremely pleased with the progression. Definitely a different taste in my mouth when I look at what Georgia's doing now on offense versus what we did to start the season. I'm extremely proud. And like I said in the beginning of this, I want this to be the icing on the cake for Mike Bobo. I want him to go ahead and bring this season on home. We'll deal with the playoff scenario. We'll deal with whatever happens in the SEC championship later. But bring this home, Mike. Let's go ahead because I got a lot of shit to talk to a whole lot of people. But I'm going to let the door close and I'm going to lock it behind me first. And I want Mike Bobo and Gunnar Stockton to go out here and put points up. And let's just go out of here with a victory. Let's make sure we let's control the tempo. If we need to run the ball and keep their defense on the field, let's do that. But I wanted to end up in a victory. And then we'll count the chips on the back end. But I feel real good about it because I don't have to rely on any specific piece. And again, I'll co-sign what JV said to start. It's really based on the fact that my offensive line is really gelling, looking good. The fact that we can take out Drew Bobo and let him sit for a game and get healthy is going to bode well for us here against Georgia Tech. My whole right side is true, exactly. Coming back and heading that defense. And then, I'm just really excited.
He's going to be held out soon.
Look at you, boy. I'm gonna tell you, boy. If I had a mute button, I'd use it. And then I got my whole right side of my offensive line. Hey. And then I'm so excited about my right side of my offensive line and just their development as true freshmen. You got to watch who drive and make sure. Let me be a passenger and hang out. I already know. But overall, man, that offense has been really a great thing to witness. It's grown a lot, primarily under center, the freshmen on the line, and we got skilled guys all across the board. So, I feel good about the totality. Georgia Tech is relying a lot more on Haynes King, and we're going to count on what Mike Bobo got.
Yeah, man, and I'm going to tell you, when I asked that question, see, I really asked that question to try and trip you up a little bit, just to add a little extra something to the show. But you answered it with perfection, and you was able to get out of my trap because, to your point, Georgia Tech has been notorious in terms of not being able to stop the run the last 5-6 games. And to your point, I think we can run for close to, 250, almost 275, and maybe throw for 150, 175 and win this game. I don't think really it's going to be a lot on Gunner. I'm leaning more towards the defense.
Okay.
I think this particular game is going to be a time when the time of possession changes. I think we're going to actually win the time of possession. I think this game is not going to be close. And in my opinion, I know the record doesn't show this, but I think Georgia Tech had a better team last year. I just think they have won more games this year. So with that being said, I really don't think it's going to be close in terms of that. And I think we will win the time of possession and don't make it a tough game.
Let me ask you a quick question, Thad, while I got you. Do you think Georgia Tech is going to use tempo to come out? They got a veteran signal caller. They're in their backyard. They're in Atlanta. They got to try to do something to offset this defense that we're bringing. Do you feel like tempo is something that they will use, or do you see another option for Georgia Tech offensively as they try to come in and rattle our tree as we on our way?
Well, I think tempo is definitely an option, and not only tempo. I think they're going to throw everything in the kitchen sink. I think this is a very big game for them, a very huge game. Although it doesn't have any implications on the ACC, this is just a very huge game because having that third loss can really put a damper on their season. So when you say tempo, I can see some of that. I think the game is going to dictate a lot of that. But I think the way that our defense has been playing as of late, the way we've been gelling and getting a lot better, I think it's going to be tough to catch us in a formation, not formation, but a personnel where they can exploit us with tempo. Because with whatever front we run, generally we're going to run a 3-man front. It may look like a 4-man front, but it's going to only be 3 down line. We may have a jack outside linebacker. I just think we're going to be able to put pressure on that particular offense and play sound football. So, but just to answer your question, sure, I can see them trying tempo. Shit, I think I can see them doing everything. Tempo, trick plays on special teams.
Yeah, I was gonna say fake punts.
Oh, it's gonna be a trick play, guaranteed.
you know all that, because at the end of the day, records aside, this game is just different. I mean, it's just.
And we
different.
heard them last year. Be clear. That emotion you saw from their coach. After the game, when our coaches kind of had to, attaboy him a little bit, they were hurt last year because they had a chance, and that might have been the best chance that they're gonna have for a while, and they let it slip through their fingers. So I think that, to your points, guys, yeah, they're gonna come out, I feel, and do any and everything, because right now at this point they're already out of the ACC championship game, right? I mean, you're trying to upset the apple cart so you make a major jump up into that top 12. That's all they have to really go for them right now. And I throw caution to the wind, and I'm sure the 16 is expecting that also.
You're right.
And just back to CA's original question about the tempo. So we've all kind of mentioned the past few weeks here about how our defense has gotten so much better, and for them to run tempo, they're going to have to win first and second down. And that's something that teams haven't been doing on a consistent basis over the last 4 games with us.
Gotcha. You're right. And that'll be a struggle because if you can't set it up, with those long yardage situations in front of you. If we get that penetration on first down, that read option don't work, and then you behind 2nd and 12, it ain't going to make no sense to rush to the line of scrimmage.
And that'll be a little something foreign to their DNA too, right? Because they don't really do a lot of tempo anyway. So then they're gonna have to, if they did introduce that to try to take advantage of something, that wouldn't be something that they've traditionally done this season, as a part of, I guess, their philosophy. So that'll be interesting if they try it, because a lot of times they could take you out of your own scheme trying to do something that's not central to what your game in and game out scheme is.
True.
So go ahead, see, you answer.
No, I was gonna say you got an identity for a reason. So you're right, JV. That's true.
So what I'm gonna ask you guys, and of course we don't see this happening, but I like to try to touch all facets of everything, because it's not always all gravy. Right. My question to you, JV, and I'll come to CA with it after you spin the tires on it. JV, just tell me what we can't do. Like what can cause us to lose this game? What is it that we can't do?
Oh well, I don't think
And
that
I
that's
know it's gonna sound cliche-ish, but
no.
you know,
Look, no, listen. And my answer gonna sound cliche as too. We can't turn the ball over. We have to hit ball and see ball. We have to tackle. We can't run through gaps and miss open tackles in the backfield. We have to capitalize on those opportunities on the defense. You know, we can't fumble the ball, get the ball away on offense. Offensive linemen have to make sure that when they blocking a man, they block that man. You know, we don't want to see penetration. Look, all the things that I'm sure that everybody in RTH Nation can think about that can cause us to get beat. Those are the things we need to avoid at all costs because we haven't been doing that on at anywhere close to being anywhere close to being a high clip. We've been limiting our turnovers. We've been causing some turnovers. We've been blocking. We've been tackling. And we need to just continue doing the things that Georgia do and does on a regular basis so that we can, walk out of there with a W because all those things can contribute to an L if we get lackadaisical and start doing those things that we know that can cause us to take it.
And before I go to UCA, if any one of you guys know this, you can answer this. But Stat Guy, if you know this, could you let me know what is the ticket allotment? It's a home game for Tech, right? Who's the home game? Who the home team?
It's Tech.
I believe Tech.
So
it should be Tech.
But with it being at the Dome, is there a 50-50 ticket allotment? You know what I'm saying? Or do they get
I
the
think so.
If they're not be, they can barely feel 35K over there at that high school stadium.
I think it's 50-50.
Well, the Dome ain't that big, but okay. All right.
We're gonna peg it out. No matter
I'm just wondering in a sense, like we both from Georgia, but who in terms of fans would have the home field advantage? You know what I'm saying?
This was supposed to be a home game for them, so I'm supposing they would have kept them as the home team for this particular game.
This might be like Jacksonville, fellas. I think it's a 50-50 split on the tickets, and yeah, they're gonna wear home jerseys, but
right,
we in Atlanta, we in the Dome.
Yeah, they don't mean shit. Yeah,
they blew it.
They dropped the ball on that one. So it's a home game for Tech. UGA is getting what?
5,000 tickets.
No, we get I'm sure we get more than that.
Really? Hold up, man.
That might be
yelled out.
That sounds like a real home game.
Hold on, whoa, cause the Dome hold with like 65, something like that, right?
Yeah.
Not the Dome, but Mercedes. Yeah. No, I don't think we're going out that bad, but yeah. All right. But with that being said, CA, same thing to you, man. Like I said, I know it sounds cliche-ish, but you know what I'm saying. What is this? What is some things that we cannot do?
I still call it the Dome too, shot. We from the A, man.
Right.
I don't care what they
it been towed out.
They move it. Exactly. Call it the change. JB Wright can't turn the ball over, not allow big plays. We can't take Georgia Tech lightly. We got to come in here and really play them just like we played everybody else these last 3 to 5 weeks. We need to come out and establish ourselves on offense and be stern on defense. I don't want to see us go back to the trend or continue the trend of giving up touchdowns off the first 15 plays in their script and allowing them to feel success. But we got to play strong defense all night long. So as long as we don't give up the big plays and the turnovers, we'll be in a good position because I do think our defense is built to stop the run. I think that's probably most important because that's where those play action passes come from. Keep it in front of us. We got a great shot just because of the makeup of our team.
Okay, and I think Michael Baker put something in the comments. I think that's some good info. He said the game wasn't included in the Tech season tickets. They were paid handsomely to move this game. I'm sure they were. Good point.
Good point, Mike. Bake know what time it is.
Good point. Good point. All right, well, fella, you know what I'm saying? We got about 15 minutes. I'm gonna try to stretch it out the best I can. So what I want y'all to do is I need some predictions. And when you give me the predictions, just tell me why. Give me a little something on why. Let go Visky.
Man, listen, look, when we talk about clean old-fashioned hate, man, I'm from Alabama. So I grew up in a real hate-filled rivalry all my life. But when I started taking those visits and I started looking at schools and colleges, and I made my decision to become a dog for life because I was a Bulldog in high school. when I made the decision to become a dog for life, man, I really assumed another level of hate for Georgia Tech that I didn't even think I had for nobody else. And that's including
You know how to
Slaughter.
still spell it.
Hey, listen, yeah, I crossed that T and I dot that I, baby. Hey, you better, and hey, when I dot that I, listen, I'm dropping bomb. So, fellas, like my the level of disrespect and dislike that I have for these guys is actually it sits above any other school. No matter how much I talk about some of the other schools, I literally can't stand Tech. So my
Mm.
score
Hey V,
prediction,
my
yeah.
bad V. Hold
What
on,
up?
Mike. You ain't gotta be Mike, you ain't gotta be name dropping and everything. God, dog, man.
Hold on, what he got up there? I
I talking
can't read
about
it.
I fly with Georgia Tech season ticket holder. They informed. Yeah, man.
Hey, hold up, man. Look,
Hey,
hey, the man in big
ain't no
wig, man.
wrong with
Look,
having them
stand
folks
Nah,
on
look good.
business.
Look, man,
I'm just talking.
look, you
Shout
stay
out to
close
Mike
to the
Baker,
enemy,
man.
man. That way you ain't got to look for
There you go.
them. But no, man, listen, I got the dogs, man, pulling this one off in a stern fashion, man. I got us winning, 38-17. And I feel confident about that. I don't say it with no trepidation. I say it with every last bit of my chest
What's
and
the
every
spread, Stat?
last bit of everybody that I am. Say what, folks?
I was just asking Stat with the spread. Well, I was saying we was covering with your point. With your
Oh
prediction.
yeah. So that's me, man. 38-17 dogs, just because I just can't stand Tech. And it really is real dirty old fashioned hate for me.
Mm.
Because ain't nothing clean about it.
No, that's right.
Same thing to UCA, man. Let me get your prediction and just give me a little bit of the why.
The why, man. I hate Georgia Tech, man. I hate everything they got going on. They all in my city, faking like they from here, half from out the state, man. I don't care nothing about them boys. I wish they lost every game. Joker told me, man, I hope they win, so we can catch them and they up. Now they lost. They always crunk to play Georgia. They whole season is based on what we do on Friday, and we just have to acknowledge that. The score I see, JV, I ain't too far off. I got 33-17, only because I feel like we're gonna run it down and give them a nice slow death. We're gonna get the city all they want. We're gonna let them hang out in the building for as long as they want to be there. And I think the run game is what we are gonna want to focus on. Build that momentum and just give them that hammer all night long, and make them like it. But yeah, I don't wish them nothing but what they gonna get. I don't like anything they got going on. They only recruit. They take everybody to Magic City. They ain't doing nothing down
Used to
there.
be Nicky. Used to be Thug Nicky.
Please, wherever they taking them, they ain't doing nothing down there. But yeah, man, strong showing by the offense, and I think the defense might give up one late to clean it up. 33-17. That's what I got.
Love it. Stat guy say, well, Cal Pitt, shout out to Cal, man, other co-host.
What up, Cal?
Cal say 13 and a
Football
half.
genius.
Football genius, and obviously Stat sees some of them move down to 12 and a half. But I think at the end of the day, both scores you guys have given, we cover. And I'm on the same boat too, man. I think we beat them like 31, 17. I really think we're gonna pound them this year. I think they have a little bit of an overinflated sense of achievement at this particular point. Like I say, I honestly think they were a better team last year, although the record doesn't reflect that. And I think we're gonna be able to bring them back down to earth, man. I really think the way that we as a team is clicking on all cylinders, we're going to be able to show the disparity in the two programs. Because at the end of the day, real talk, I hate to say it, and I ain't trying to disrespect nobody child, but all y'all want to come to Georgia, you just can get a scholarship. I mean, that's just
All
what
it
it boils
was.
down.
That's all it was.
That what it boils down. That was just the next close.
I usually don't say that, but most of the haters just mad because they didn't get the offer. It's all right. I understand. We work it out.
And shout out to your point, something you always say, man. If you want to really understand where your program is, then you put us on your schedule, and they keep us on their schedule. And like you said, because of that game last year, they felt like it was taken from them. They don't feel like we took it from them. They feel like they gave it to us. And so, I want to go out there and show them, like, man, hey, listen, sometimes a broke clock is right twice a day, man. But that don't mean that you keeping time. I just need y'all to understand that this is a different level of expectation, but this is also a different level delivery. We deliver the blow. We don't normally take the blows. So y'all actually looked up last year with what we allowed you guys to be able to have, and I feel like we're gonna show them a little something this year, and we're gonna
Yeah,
have to
we.
put them over the knee. It might sting a little bit for them, but I mean, that's what happened when you get your stinger pulled out. You know what I'm saying, by a dog. We ain't playing, man. I think we're gonna put it on.
It's a big game.
And,
Big
and, and
game.
and to that point, man, I think, I said it that, I think they were a better team last year. I also think we are a better team this year. So they have a double
Absolutely.
negative going against them, with that being said. You know what I'm saying?
Good
So
call.
yeah,
Absolutely.
man. That's all the tech hate we got at the moment, man. We're gonna slide out of here probably a little bit earlier than usual. But before we slide out of here, CA, tell the people what you got going on, where they can find you at.
Hey man, it's the end of the season, man. I want to give a shout out to the Bulldog Bourbon Social Club. Been great honor and privilege to participate with that team all season long. I want to give a shout out to the Tailgate King. They ain't let me down all year. They continue to put on, and I expect the SEC in the remainder of the season. They'll be showing up on the calendar here soon. And shout out to these boys. Respect the Hedges, and just my damn opinion, man. That's where you can find me at. Go Dogs.
Hey, will the Bourbon Club be set up in the A?
I don't know, Shawty. They gonna have a conversation with you about last time. The Bourbon Club told me they looking for you. Actually, your name, you're on the list. They say
Right.
you got to take some shots before
Fair
you make the range.
Fair enough.
But I do think they'll be there, and I'll definitely let you know. I'm gonna jump in the chat and let you know.
That's what's up. Mr. Tailgate King himself, tell the people what you got going on, where they can find you at.
Hey man, look, I appreciate everybody, man. They always are shouting at the Tailgate King, but let me let you know something. Man, this here guy has really enjoyed this football season, brothers. And I know that I ain't put on as many events as I have in the past. And for that, I have to apologize to you guys, but I am really enjoying loving on my dogs, man. Being able to check out a game and not have to worry
Kick
about
it.
all the extra. So with that being said, the Kings are going to continue that trajectory for at least this season, man.
Kicking
We're going to enjoy this, man. We're gonna
we
be
kicking it.
But you can always find me here on Tuesdays, man, because I love my dogs. And shout, I got to spend some more time with you on Wednesdays, bro, because just my damn opinion, that's a spectacular show. So you can find me there when I'm there. And then if you get to a game early enough, and if you can find me in between a nap and me eating, then you can catch me at any venue that the dogs are playing at. Bet that up. And wherever that is, you can find me there. So look for your
That's
boy.
hard.
Holler at me. Go dog.
Go
All
Dogs.
right. Same here, man. You can find me with the crew, man. The rest of the village, man. Respect the head. Just shout out to Coach out, man. Get better, man. Shout out to Cool Cal. Shout out to E-Rob, man, and the guys who are
E-Rob.
here with us tonight. You can obviously find me tomorrow night. Hopefully, me, Cool Cal, and AP be on tomorrow night at 9:30. Just my damn opinion. Hey, but before we get out of here, since we do got a little time, I want to ask you guys one little question. Quick question. Right now, we are the 4 seed.
There we go.
got it's a lot can go on. We got 1 week left. What seed we go into the playoff in? Open forum.
How about this? Let me ask a better question. Worst case scenario, we lose this game.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? What's the real as far as our opportunities in the playoff and in the SEC? Because losing the game really don't impact what happened in the SEC. If Alabama and A&M lose, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, to your point, CA, and if you want to go, JB, I'll let you go first. But to your point, CA, I'm actually glad you said that, because it's actually one of the points I wanted to touch on in the show, and it got away from me. One of the motivations for this game is that I know it's Georgia versus Georgia Tech, but we have somewhat of a lack of motivation going into this game for that particular point, because we set in stone. Whether we win or lose, we're going to make the playoffs. If we win, we're going to probably stay between that 3 and 5 seed. But even if we were to lose against Georgia Tech, I think we'll just be between that 8 and 10 seed.
Gotcha.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you, but what I think that also gives us this is the thing about having 16 as your coach. 16 pulls motivation out of a Nets ass, right?
Okay.
And real talk, man, you just don't get a better sensei than what we have right now. So to what you just said, I know Kirby is harping on this fact. Guys, name the team that has finished in the top 4 that didn't play in their championship game. We are one of the best in the country. These guys are coming in here and trying to take something from us that we have worked our asses off all year to obtain. They wanted to keep us out of this top 4, and they're trying to take it from us, but they can't because we are that team. And I think that that's what he's preaching to these guys. Realistically, if we win this game, I think we finish the season at number 3 because go ahead.
No, go ahead, finish the point.
No, I think we finish the season at number 3 just because of the strength of schedule, 1. 2, you're going to have a Alabama team, if we don't play in the championship game against against a Texas A&M team. I'm just discounting Ole Miss making it completely and entirely. Where you're going to see A&M have to really battle a pretty good team. Not to say that nobody that they've played has been good, but I mean, Texas A&M, they play Texas, and we know Texas don't really fit the bill of a very good team. I think Alabama's a very good team, even with the loss that they just took recently.
Okay.
A&M is going to have to go and whoop them because Alabama is as hard to kill as the Dogs are to kill. Okay. And I don't think in a championship scenario that I really put my money on A&M to win that game. So I think we move up to number 3 because I think Alabama goes into the championship game and beats A&M.
So what I was saying, I don't have no quarrels with that, but what I'm just going to say, like what we're talking about now is, just a post position of what we were talking about you guys were saying last week when I asked the question about in terms of us getting the bye or not making the playoffs. Not making the play, but getting the bye or playing straight through. Because I went back and looked at the schedule, and I was right. When you look at the schedule, guys, the only difference is that if we get the bye, if you get the bye, you're gonna get 2 weeks straight off. Yeah. But if you don't get the bye, you play, then you get 2 straight. So it really the same difference is what I'm getting at. So at the end of the day, will we rather have the bye or not? It's still the same question. But to this week, it seemed like we're leaning towards getting a bye. Is all I was trying to get at. Yeah.
So what you mean? Because if we don't play and we finish in the top 4, we actually have 2 straight. Not 2 straight.
Well, it won't be straight because the SEC championship is December the 6th, but the first playoff game is like the 19th or something like that.
Okay.
Right. But we won't have the opportunity.
It's more beneficial to get the bye because then you have 2 weeks off straight.
Exactly. Actually, more than that if you get the first round bye.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. So it's like it's a split. Like if you don't get the bye, it's like you get a week off, then you play, then you get 2 weeks. But if you get the bye, you get the straight weeks off. There's no in-between game.
Right.
When we're talking about health, I would rather have the full time off as opposed to having to play then get, you know what I'm saying? So
and think about it, Shawty, that's in CA, that's two extra possible games that you would have to play if you don't get the first round bye and finishing in the top 4. You would possibly play 2 more games if you played in the SEC championship game and in the first round of the playoffs. That's a big difference on your team and on your body as a player if you make it through to the championship game.
And think about this. I don't think it would happen, CA and JV. I don't think it would happen, but you could have a situation because winning the SEC doesn't guarantee a bye. You just guarantee to get in the playoff. Imagine if we could get the 4 seed and still get a bye and not have to play the SEC championship. Plus,
That's,
we get you know what I'm saying?
that's the golden goose right there. That's the golden ticket. If finishing that top 4, because in that top 4 you will have a bye, unless they pull something really tricky out to move a team up and us down. If we didn't play in the championship game, because if we win, guys, it would be any reason for us not to stay at the top 4.
It seems like it's a debate between, you know, getting that rest during the bye week and interrupting your momentum. You know, we got some momentum going. We, you know, want to see how this game looks. I love having a bye. I love having a home playoff game even more. I think our fans deserve it, want it, and I think it will be awesome, just the experience. And I would definitely take that over the bye. That's just a personal. I want to do it in Sanford one time. And I think we perform well, you know. So yeah, I have no idea how this is gonna shake out, man. You know, I just want us to go in rolling.
That's what's up.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, man, you know, at the end of the day, regardless of what happens, Georgia has the opportunity to either have a bye this year or host a first round playoff, to everybody's point. So at the end of the day, man, UGA on top, we winning, man. We ain't got poor people problems, man.
The money, y'all.
Shout out to everybody in the comments, man. Shout out to the village, man. My partners in the counter, man. We up out of here, man. At the end of the day, man, respect the Hedges, man. Come on.
Go Dogs.